In the previous video, I asked you to create several classes which you'll be using in this scenario. Of course, when you run this scenario, nothing happens. You'll slowly start changing that as soon as you watch each video in the series. In these videos, I'll be using programming terms you may or may not be familiar with. In case you don't know, I suggest going to some of the following sites. Also, unless I state otherwise, all code should be placed within the opening and closing braces of the class declaration. The class declaration comes in the form of a line which reads public class followed by the class's name, then sometimes followed by extends actor or extends world. Now, let's get started. First off, open the space class. Add the following line. This line assigns a new player object to the player reference variable. Next up is the constructor. You already have the super part, so all you need to add is the code that follows. Set paint order lets the scenario know how to paint the object. Objects at the start of the list appear above objects below them. Furthermore, there are 4 method calls which will add to the space class. InitPlayer adds the player object using worlds add object. Worlds getWidth and getHeight take the game's dimension and then place the player in the center by dividing it by 2. InitPlanets uses a for loop to place 10 planets. This time, however, Greenfoot's getRandomNumber is used to place the planets at random locations. InitEnemies places 4 enemies. It uses a double dimension array and then uses the game's and enemies' width and height to place them in the 4 corners of the screen. Last is InitLabel, which places a label at the top of the screen. Save your space class and close it. Now, open the label class. Place the import statement below the line that reads import Greenfoot. All import statements should be put outside the class declaration. Instance variables and methods go within the class declaration. These variables are of type Greenfoot image. Needless to say, these hold images. The constructor actually draws the images. On a side note here, every Greenfoot method is well documented and can be found under Help, then Greenfoot class documentation. Greenfoot image has different constructors. ImageLabel calls a constructor which takes a width and height to create an image. ImagePlanetDestroyed and ImageTorpedoes call a constructor which take a string, a font size in pixels, and a foreground or text color, and a background color. The next 3 statements set ImageLabel's transparency, its active color, and then fills it with the active color. Next, ImagePlanetDestroyed and ImageTorpedoes are drawn into ImageLabel, and ImageLabel is set as the object's image. Now, save and close the label class and open the planet class. This array holds the image names found in the images folder of 3 different planets. The constructor generates a random number which is then used in combination with the array to determine which planet is shown. Now, save the planet class, close it, then save and compile your scenario. If you did everything right, you should receive no errors. This is the end of this video. Your scenario should look something like this. Starting the scenario makes no difference as you haven't added code for movement. This will be your next step, so visit the next video for the next installment. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time.